Let's get right at it. American Muslims marched to the White House Friday to condemn ISIS and the terror attacks in Paris. We had one of the organizers of that rally on in our 9 o'clock hour. Roll tape.
We are not afraid. We have to stand against violent extremism and against those organizations who have taken many lives. Majority of them are Muslims. 80% of victims of violent extremism are Muslims. We are not afraid of ISIS. We're not afraid of any those terrorist organizations because we're going to tell them. We're going to stand against them.
All right. Now, we are told that about 100 people showed up for that rally in D.C. on Friday. Zuhdi Jasser from the American Islamic Forum for Democracy joins us now. Zuhdi, 100 people is not enough. Look, I'm not trying to speak on behalf of America, but I do believe what America wants to see is tens of thousands in the street, demonstrating vigorously. We're not going to have this ISIS get out of here. What happened?
Well, you know, hats off to them for trying, but I've been doing this for quite a while, as you know, Stuart, and they're a little tone deaf because our community is doesn't see the urgency, they don't see the ownership, and they don't see the responsibility for doing this, and that's sad. But also remember, most of the leadership of our community are run by Islamist groups that are apologists and want to play the race card. They want to play the Islamophobia card about bigotry. So we have a multiple number of obstacles that are in the way, and until we build, you know, you're going to be hearing from me in a few weeks about a group of leaders, of reformists that are getting together, and we'll let you know about that. But that's how you start. You start with leaders that are courageous reformers that will take on the establishment, and then you'll build that. Remember, Muslims are barely 1% of the American population, and it's going to take a while.
American Muslims, let me use the expression moderate Muslims. Are moderate American Muslims afraid to go out on the street because they could face violence if they're publicly identified? I mean, look at you. You face death threats, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we do. And, you know, the OIC lobby of these 56 countries that run a mafia from Saudi Arabia to Iran that try to do what Ezra Nomani has called the Honor Brigade to prevent us from speaking out certainly create a culture of fear. But come on, in America, I mean, my family is dodging bombs in Syria and radicals. I mean, the Egyptians went to the streets to fight against the Islamists. 10 million rejected the Brotherhood. So the difference, Stuart, is in Egypt, they had their government controlled by these militants. In America, we protect them, we coddle Muslims. They really see no threat of the Islamists taking over. So there's no sense of urgency. There's no sense of responsibility. They stay asleep. They stay anesthetized. And by the way, the left, as we saw in the Sunday programs yesterday and last week, is too busy saying, oh, America's bigoted. And they had Muslims saying, oh, we're the victims, rather than taking ownership. And those are all things that prevent the voice of reform that we need to speak out.
I need your opinion, Zuhdi. Am I an Islamophobe? If I suggest, no, seriously, I mean, because sometimes some of the things that I say, I am accused of being an Islamophobe. For example, last week. Can we just roll tape? A gentleman was on the program. I was asking him about what my opinion, and I said, am I an Islamophobe? Roll the tape, please. Am I an Islamophobe if I say, no, I do not wish to expand the domestic Muslim population? Am I Islamophobic?
I think that might fall in with that definition.
I'm sorry, I would be?
Yeah, I think that falls in the definition of Islamophobia.
So there you have it, Zuhdi. I suggested that if I believe that maybe we don't want to add more Muslims inside America, and I realize the position I'm sort of suggesting here, that would make me an Islamophobe. I put it to you. Most of America is an Islamophobe on that basis.
Well, first of all, Stuart, I reject the term Islamophobe. Phobia is an irrational fear of the unknown. Islam is a religion. It's not a human being. So it's an idea. It doesn't have rights. Bigotry against Muslims exists. You are certainly not one. And I think what the problem is we do need to thread the needle between separating Muslims who really are anyone that practices Islam like myself versus Islamists that are a threat. And you, because our government, because our leadership can't express that they're going to limit Islamists who are political theocrats that are anti-American from coming into America, we can't delineate that so Americans say, you know what? We don't want Muslims. Now, I will tell you, I hope that's not your position. I hope it's about, you know, that we embrace Muslims that are freedom-loving, about our immigrant narrative, and that we reject Islamists, and I hope we can make that distinction.
Yeah, you stand up, swear the oath, and you agree to the same values that I've got. We're all in. We're all happy. Zuhdi, thank you very much indeed, sir. Amen to that.
Thanks, Stuart. Appreciate it.